All right, and welcome back to the Buzzed Banter podcast.
Welcome
we have
back.
a special guest, my cousin Panda. Welcome.
Panda,
What's
panda,
up?
panda, panda, panda.
So, this is a podcast where anybody can talk about anything and everything.
Anything and everything.
All right, Joe, you need to calm down over there.
Hey,
What is that?
that's my line, bro. Anything and everything.
Is it though?
It is. That's what I say.
thought there was
we
an
talk
echo
about
in here.
anything and everything.
Echo.
Yeah, so I mean, from our previous podcasts, we sometimes talk about specific topics, but sometimes we sit and talk. We have beers, and I feel for men especially, it's important to be able to talk about your feelings, and we're not necessarily going to talk about our feelings today. We might, we don't know. We're just going to see what we get into, but. Mental health is it's a really big issue for a lot of people. Panda, I know you've been through a lot and had to kind of come through that. I've been through a lot myself. I was suicidal for a little while, and it especially kind of where we're from in kind of the South. Men they repress their feelings and.
It's the whole thing about be a fucking man kind of thing.
That's just like man mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it that's not necessarily the thing. Like
It's not, yeah.
people
you're right.
need to talk about, men especially, they need to talk about their feelings because
It doesn't make you weak.
no, it doesn't make you. It actually makes you stronger as a person. And like having control over your feelings, like you get in those moments where you lose control, and it's because you've repressed these feelings for so fucking long. And that shit that boils up and it comes out in this one big moment, and that's what you're judged for.
Yep.
And as a society, we judge people for their worst moments, and that it's not the right thing to do because we don't know those people. We don't know their entire lives. We don't know what they've been through, and that saying, don't judge people for a moment in their life. Like judge them on the majority of their character, I don't know. That got a little deep, but
It was fucking deep, bro.
It's just don't I don't know. My thing is don't treat people like terrible. Like
the golden rule, treat people how you want to be treated,
That's
And-
that's dude, there's no other animal that would say that better. Like I'm panda. But I would say this, like, if you fucking approach a giant panda with ill intentions, that motherfucker will fuck you up, buddy.
I mean, have you seen those videos of them eating fucking
Dude.
bamboo?
Dude,
They chomp through that shit like nothing.
can you imagine?
They would chomp through your bones like it was.
Well,
easy
I mean, not
fucking
my
Sunday.
bones because I'm supernatural, but your bones.
No, your bones.
No. Come on, man.
Your bones have been jumped by so many men. Like,
here.
Wee!
Panda knows. Panda knows. He was one of the guys that jumped him.
Ha 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 ha. Yes. Why is this about me?
I mean, you spoke up, so I mean,
Why is this about me? Anyways,
no, but back to the point. Talk about your feelings, men. It's okay. Feel your feelings. Like we're all human beings. We have feelings. We're meant to feel. Don't repress that shit.
it is. It's.
And if you're struggling, talk to somebody. Talk to your significant other, or talk to your mom or dad, or talk to a therapist. I went through therapy. Down here in the South, it's kind of frowned upon to go to a therapist. He's like, oh no, just be a man up. Rub some dirt on it. But that doesn't work.
It does work.
I got to the point where I wanted to kill I wanted to kill myself. I didn't want to be in this world anymore. And it's getting to that point. It's a struggle to get to that point. And once you get to that point, it's overwhelming. And I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Like you all know me. I'm an entertainer. I want to provide entertainment to people. I want to cater to people, and I do so in every way that I can, almost to a detriment. But I just want people to feel good. I want them to be okay.
Yeah, I
And
think we're all with you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if this dude's seen karaoke yet, but just wait.
I mean, I gave
It's
a
coming.
little glimpse in
It's
an
coming.
episode.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I'm with you there. I mean, all of us. I mean, me. I think that's the reason why our chemistry fits really well. Is like we like to please people. You know, Panda Bear included. You know, we love to make sure that people around us are comfortable. It's a strength and it's a weakness. Like I told you. And I'm so glad, Brandon, that you came down. I'm so glad that the worst never came to fruition. I'm so glad that you're with me and I can share moments with you now. So yeah, man. I mean, to that note, I mean, let's talk about. So you were talking about hard stuff. We all have hard things that we've gone through here lately. I wanna ask Panda, you know, and if you don't mind, like, can I get personal with you? You cool?
Yeah.
You cool with that? Okay, so recently, in the last couple of years, you went through a separation and divorce, and I can't imagine, I came close to that. I can't imagine, going through that. You know, what was it like? What was it like? It's one thing going through it, like once it hits, it's a like a whatever. But then once you get deep into it, then you actually start, you know, uh, getting, I guess, a taste of what you actually are going through.
Yeah.
So can you give me an idea of what it was like in the beginning versus what it was like in the middle versus what it's like now?
So at first, kicking the nuts, just kicking the nuts. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to act. Like you just don't know. It's just maybe the signs were there and you just ignored them, and because I know I did, but
So
the reality of it.
So hold on,
hit
hold on, hold
all
on.
at once.
Pause real quick. What are some of those signs? In case people are asking, like, because they may be going through the same shit and they don't even know. What are some of the signs?
So, I mean, for me, everything was toxic. Everything. So I stopped expressing my feelings because anytime I expressed my feelings, it was, you're wrong.
Yeah, and that's what I was getting at. Like, it's horrible to think that what you're feeling is wrong, and like you shouldn't be feeling that way.
And so I suppressed those feelings, and because I didn't want the argument, the fight.
Because you're a panda bear.
Yeah. And so I just stopped. I just stopped feeling.
And just so you know, we all notice that.
And yeah. And so then, like, even like, I just didn't show emotion. If I did, it was by myself. And I don't know, like, then everything happened. Like, so it all built up to where it was. And then next thing you know, it happened. And then I'm like, well, what the fuck did I do?
What the fuck did I do wrong?
But, I mean, I did things wrong, but she did things wrong too. And, I mean, maybe I held on out, like, for the kids' sake. And kids don't need to grow up knowing this is what a relationship should be like. Like,
Yeah, because sometimes reality is too much, for little ones. Because they don't comprehend.
yeah, but I mean, not only that, but you're your kid's idol.
Exactly.
Your kids are looking up to you. They're looking to see what
How you
marriage,
react.
how stuff should be. And if you're arguing, fighting, whatever, you don't want your kids to go through that.
Yeah, and so this was the beginning phase. Like, so phase 2 would be like kind of in the middle where you're kind of used to it. So what was that like?
It took a long time to get used to it.
You hit rock bottom.
I did. I was drinking.
You weren't just drinking.
I smoked cigarettes.
You were smoking cigarettes,
but at the same time, I wasn't eating.
You weren't eating, but
I was smoking cigarettes.
But I want to talk about this, like, because I remember this. Like, you were drinking, not just drinking. You were drinking by yourself.
Yeah, and maybe
you weren't drinking to have a good time. You were drinking just to fucking.
And it sucks because some music will make you get you there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Music can definitely be a trigger. But I'll tell you, there was one moment. I'm not sure where in your timeline this fell, but I was living in L.A. and
I remember that.
It was midnight for me in L.A., which would have meant it was 2 a.m. here for you.
I wasn't sleeping.
Yeah, and
Did you fucking call Brandon?
Panda called me up, and to be honest with you, he had not, in my time in LA, he had not called me.
This was new.
Never.
And we talked, and I was going through a relationship that was not going well, and it's funny you talking about some of your experiences and how much you put up with. And I was in like almost the same exact situation minus the kids. I don't have kids, and I commend you for that. Like,
you have doggies.
Well, at the time I didn't.
Oh yeah.
You from a third party perspective, like, if you could be my dad, that would have been fucking awesome.
I'm gonna shout out even more later, but Panda, dude, this guy, he's a dad that, he does his job.
An amazing fucking
above
dad.
and beyond.
Like what anybody would want their dad to be.
Yeah.
This guy lives it up to a T.
Yeah, and I keep telling him.
I appreciate that.
No, because like from my own experience, I don't have the best dad. He's a human being. He's made mistakes that he could have learned from, but he didn't. But Josh, Panda.
Panda.
Not Josh.
Josh is
Panda.
So weird. What is that?
It is Josh.
It's Panda.
But he, like he just said, he went through some experiences. He made some mistakes, and he learned from them. And I feel like as human beings, if you can learn from your mistakes, they're not something that should hold you back. There's something that should build you to a better person.
True that.
And those of us who can learn from our mistakes and move forward and grow from them, those are the type of people that I want around me. And it's exactly why I'm glad to be sitting next to him and to be glad to call him family.
Oh yeah.
But
sure.
that night when you called me, because it had never happened, and I already kind of knew what you were going through.
Family talks,
and it scared me. Like, I won't lie, it scared me. And I talked to your brother, I talked to my sister, and I was like, please check in on Josh, because I know.
Why didn't you call me, fucker?
Because I don't like you. I'm kidding. I don't know. It was a family deal. Like,
this was brown.
You were always there anyways.
This is Bear community stuff. This is
I
brown
knew
bear
that.
stuff.
I knew that if I talked to my sister,
just so everyone knows,
you knew the situation.
Just so everyone knows, there's no secret. Okay, we're all bears. We're a bear community. We all take care of ourselves. We should take care of ourselves. Right, I'm Brown Bear. That's Pooh Bear, and that's a story for another podcast, and it's great. He might even tell it tonight, folks. I don't know, but this is Panda Bear, and we got a Mocha Bear, and we got a Care Bear, and yes, fucking Tim, that's your fucking name, dude. I don't care what you say, that's your fucking name. And we got Polar Bear, and that's all the bears we got.
We got Grizzly.
Oh yeah, we got a grizzly bear there too. You're right.
But back to the story.
Yeah.
So it scared me, and I contacted our other close family because we're a Mexican family. We have a really big family, extended family. But there's
like
there's
us
a kind of close knit cousin
grew up
family
together.
that
There is
grew
a
up together.
yeah.
Like me and my sister and my mom, we lived with my aunt and our four cousins for a good amount of time, and we all grew up together. And like I consider them. I don't have any brothers technically, but these guys are my brothers, and I've.
Thought I was your brother, bitch.
Just shut up and let me tell my story.
I know, damn.
But like we all grew up together, and I would do anything for these guys. Like I love them to death. But whenever Panda called me that night, and it had never happened before, it really shook me to my core. Even though like I was going through my own shit, I knew like my brother is going through something, and I need to find some way. And I was 1,600 miles away. I needed to find some way to help him. So I reached out to our other kind of close knit family, and I was like, hey, just please check in on Panda because something's not right. I can feel it. And I mean, it obviously nothing changes overnight. We had all already knew like he was going through some stuff, but I'm not sure where like what your brothers did or what Son did after that conversation. I just knew I needed to contact somebody and I'd try and help.
And you did, but at that point in time, I didn't want to hear anything.
Yeah.
I didn't want to hear anything from anybody. Like I was doing my own thing. I liked living in that deep, dark place. And that's just something, I don't know, like you have to want more for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You got to dig yourself up. You got to reach out. It's just, and I mean, I didn't have like, honestly, I didn't have like any kind of addiction problem.
Yeah.
But I would go to Celebrate Recovery. And even though I didn't have that problem, I went every day.
Holy shit, you did that?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
I didn't know that either. That's
Holy
amazing.
shit, dude.
I mean, there was people that were alcoholics, there were drug, addicts, and they're like, "Why are you here?" I'm like, I'm going through stuff, like, and they're like, "Okay, well, I mean," it was all Christian based, like,
Mm-hmm.
and so really, I mean, just being able to talk to people and not judge. And that's the thing, like I love family. Don't get me wrong.
But they're gonna fucking judge you.
Yeah. People are gonna talk, but that was my safe place. That was where I went and I could say what I wanted, and I don't know, like they would check on me. And not that family wouldn't check on me, but I mean, they would check on me. They would.
Yeah, there's that one saying where it's like you're a little more open towards strangers.
Yeah, and at that time, like, because there was always that thought in my head: what if things worked out? Like, and I mean, everybody knew everything what she had done. And so everybody had their judgment. Like we did get back together. We tried, and nothing changed. I mean, it changed for a little bit, and then went back to right where it was. But everybody in the family knew, and so I mean, I don't know. It's not that family can't help you, but if you talk about relationship with a family, and then let's say you did get back together. Your family is going to take your side. They're going to still hold that grudge.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
gonna,
It's almost
it's
this.
biased.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I got to that point where I didn't want to talk to family about it. And so that was my place to go. And I mean, like you said, counseling, I mean, that probably would have helped. And I went to counseling too, but it was a men's only, just a place to go.
Oh, hell yeah.
Talk.
Okay.
And I would go, like, I sacrificed sleep. I get up 6 a.m. because it was just one day a week, but we would get up and go, I think it was like 6:15, and I'd go before work and just, I mean, read Bible verse, and then just, there was always
Community.
So with recovery, there was like I think a 12-step plan. And so, I mean, they were working the plan, and so I was working it too, even though I didn't have an addiction or anything. But it still worked.
That's the thing, though. I've thought about addiction, and I've never really considered myself an addict. Like there are certain things that I indulge in, and I always tell myself, oh, I can stop this whenever I want to. But one thing that a lot of people don't talk about is love can be an addiction. It's like growing up with you, like me, you and your brothers, we're kind of cut from the same cloth. We were brought up in a family of very strong women. We were taught to respect women, almost to a fault. Like we've let women kind of control us and run us. Because we are searching for this love. Like we love love. And I know that of you. And like from that conversation we had that night, I know that of you. Like from everything you said about the girl you were with, I could still sense the love that you felt for her.
And it's not that it's different. Like I still have love for her.
Absolutely. Like the girl I was with at the time, she had cheated me multiple times, and I still like in my heart loved her. I still to this day love her.
Yeah. I mean, my ex-wife, she's remarried, just bought a new house.
Mm-hmm.
Like I still want the best for her, but from a distance.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I
Yeah.
get that.
And maybe sometimes I don't come off that way. Like I don't know. I'm kind of cold sometimes. Like I'm like,
as we all can be, and I feel like in this day and age, it's more common for men to seem cold, even though like because we've been kind of taught recently to repress our feelings.
yeah, and that's the generation that we live in.
Exactly. Yeah. It's excuse me. That was rude. It's a hard thing to navigate. Love or dating or just being a human being these days is hard to navigate. Every which way you look at it, it's like don't say this, don't think that, don't be this, or like don't be who you want to be.
Yeah.
And that goes across the spectrum. Like for me, it's like I don't care who you are, who you love, or what you want to be. Just like be yourself, be real, and let's open up a conversation about it. And like this is exactly what this podcast is. I wanted it to be.
Yeah. So
Being open and talking about it.
yeah, and what I was getting at is like there's ups, there's highs and there's lows. Obviously, Panda has described some of the lows, some of the mids, but he's explained phase one and phase two, and what I wanted to get at is like there's a lot of guys out there that don't know the signs, they don't know the the
I mean,
shit.
well, I think it's not necessarily that they don't know the signs. They do.
Maybe
know
they
the
do.
signs.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe
But
they do.
it's hard to accept.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and then
I mean,
like
if you, especially if you have a family, like
yeah,
Absolutely.
you want to keep that
yeah.
family
If you have
together.
kids, yeah, you're right. If you have kids, you're like, I'm gonna fucking hold on,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what. Who gives a fuck?
I mean, so my whole thing was like, we got married young, and so I was kind of like
12 and 13,
like 5 and 6, but
5 and 6.
no,
Y'all's families like
no,
made
but
an agreement.
I look at Granny and Papa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they made an agreement.
Look how long they've been married,
Yeah.
and that's what I wanted. Like, I wanted a marriage that I can say, like, whenever I die, hopefully I'm old, but I can say I was buried for 65 years.
You can be
And-
cremated, though.
Yeah.
You can be buried. Buried, cremated. You can be buried. Okay, cool.
Oh, I'm gonna be cremated.
I'm gonna be. You know what I want to do? I want to be like cremated, but sent on a rocket to like a distant planet.
Yeah, they won't accept you.
Oh, they will.
I'm gonna be cremated, and I want aliens to snort me like cocaine.
Dude, yes. Let's do that. Let's make that a thing.
Don't take my idea.
Let's make
bitch.
that a thing. The Buzz Banter funeral. Dude, that would be so cool.
Just take my body. I mean, you can be cremated all you want.
But no, like I agree. Like I said, we love. Like they're
I think all three of us do.
for us. Like we're different. Obviously, like my upbringing was a little bit different.
Yeah.
But like Granny and Papa, yeah, we see that, and we see, oh yeah, like there's this love that can last for a very long time. But from my end of the spectrum, like I went through a lot of different marriages. My dad's been married like 10 times, I think, now. And it was rough.
That's my godfather, by the way.
I'm sorry. I used that guy for a long time was my fucking superhero. And it's made me question a lot of things. Like that's a big reason I went to therapy, and a big reason why I wanted to kill myself. There's this part of me that loves love, but there's this other part of me that physically went through 10 marriages and seeing every dynamic with him and this wife, him and this wife, him and this wife, him
But
and
it
this
was
wife.
always a pattern.
It was always a pattern, and
But you don't want that pattern.
yeah,
And that's the whole goal is, like, you don't, I mean, as much as your dad probably won't admit it,
yeah,
he doesn't want that pattern for you. He didn't want that pattern for Son. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
Even so much so that he disclaims us as his children.
yeah. Yeah, I mean,
but that might be his way of protecting us. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
like,
That's
like,
my.
I'm going to
optimistic
cut you
thinking.
out because,
What happened?
like, I don't want you to follow my footsteps.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
happened?
and then, I was having
And
a conversation.
that might not even be the
And
case, but
I mean,
we're speculating.
I don't think that's the case, but if it is, I hope it is. Maybe he does have a nice string in his heart.
Maybe not, but
What are we talking about?
My dad.
Oh,
But through my own challenges in life, I've learned to, like, there was a long time because I did think of my dad as my superhero, and the way that people would talk about him and say things about him, I never thought he would turn what I heard about him towards me. And there was a moment in my life where it did, and it kind of broke me as a person. But through my own experiences, I was a teenager at that time, and everything seems like the biggest thing in the world at that point. But as I grew and I had my own experiences, I kind of learned to not necessarily forgive. We'll forgive, but not forget. But learn that he's a human being. He's gonna make mistakes.
It's just you don't need to
Yeah,
repeat those
yeah.
mistakes.
It's like you don't have to continue that cycle. Like I knew his upbringing, and it was not good whatsoever. And unfortunately, he was
your dad isn't going to define you.
Yeah, and that's the thing about me is like I think that side of the family they don't necessarily like me. I have a cousin that one of my good friends is his ex-wife, and she was like, "Oh yeah, he would talk shit about you all the fucking time
That's kind of
while you were in LA." And I was like,
What are you gonna do?
I don't really care,
Yeah.
but
I mean, honestly, like it's like you're living this life that and you should. I mean, I can't. Like, I can say I'm jealous. Like you lived in LA, you were doing your shit, like, and I was here.
And like I never did it for people to look up to me. And it's like I was doing what I thought I needed to do. And
you're doing better for you. Like, I mean, that's what it should be, is do what you want to do.
Yeah, and that's one thing about our family that I don't like is like they're always like put family first. And I was like, but what if there's something that I need to do?
Yeah, but
and like I got so much shit whenever
it's two-sided though.
I said I was going to move to LA. Like even your mom, like I remember her distinctly coming to. I was living with my mom at the time. She came to the house, and she's like, "So what's your backup plan?" And like I took so much disrespect in that because it was like, "Oh, so you're gonna fail. So what are you gonna do next?"
Yeah, but it's two-sided though too. I mean, put family first. Well, it can go the other way too. Like I could be like, "Hey, we need to support Brandon because he's family."
Yeah.
We need to be like, "Hey, dude, go out there and do your shit. Don't come back until you're done. Until you're ready to come back, don't come back." It could be one of those.
And see, I don't think a lot of families think like that. Well, I mean, I can only speak from my experience, so I can't say I take that back. I don't know a lot of families that I don't know what other families think. I only speak from my family experience.
But I'm pretty sure a ton of families are like that though.
I mean,
They have to
I would guess and I maybe hope. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
I would say a normal family.
No, but I'm serious. I'm serious. Like,
Nah, I mean,
I'm serious. Like, I'm
we're
pretty sure.
normal, but we're not normal.
No, I will say like our family.
We're close knit. Like
We're close
we got
knit,
each other's back.
but our family is far beyond normal. Like there's a lot of shit that it really eats at me. I don't want to really bring that because it's not my story to tell. But there's a lot of shit in our family that I don't agree with, and it makes me. it makes me makes me have this disdain for the family, and like I would be lying to say that it wasn't a part of why I wanted to move away. Like
I could leave if y'all want me to leave.
I needed to get away from a lot of shit.
I just want everyone to notice how like short my shorts are.
He did that on purpose, people.
Even Joe's like, dang,
You don't like it? I figure you would like it.
I'm getting blind.
Oh, this is the short podcast. You didn't know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, by the way, we all rode the short bus.
Okay, so just to complete my phases, because there was phase 1, 2, and 3. Phase 3 is
got off
now.
topic.
Phase 3 is now. How do you feel now?
I mean, I've done better for myself. I run a program at my work, like, and I'm doing a good job. And
Yeah, because you recently got promoted.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and it's good. Like,
Good.
it's good. It's good. It's good. But I mean, as every job, there's always ups and downs. I mean,
We're just talking in terms of just life in general, though. What is it like now?
So I got used to being single. I got used to being by myself. Like, I'm used to that. Like, I could sit at home, not watch TV, sit. Like, my thing is, I could sit there and no TV, nothing, and just sit there, just
Boring.
just listen. And it is boring. Like, it can be boring,
I'm just playing, bro. That.
but you are right. It is boring. Like, there's times where, like, I get home from work, like, and you have shit days. You want someone to talk to.
Fix that panel.
Damn it.
Sorry, folks. We're having a little technical difficulty at the moment.
Yeah, Joe's.
Lean it up. Yeah.
So there's days that
Pull the bass out a little bit. Sorry, folks. Our little movie magic kind of revealed itself. No, this all goes in.
yeah,
This is real.
it's on Joe. There's days like you want to be able to talk to somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and
There it is.
yeah, there it is.
Sorry.
That's an inside joke. There's days like you want to be able to like vent, and you can't like, and so that's another thing. Like you kind of suppress it,
Yeah.
and so I've tried dating, and for me, dating isn't. I mean, I was married for 15 years, so I don't know how to date.
Goddamn, dude, you're like 28 right now.
Yeah, I know. I know. But
I'm
back
just
then,
playing.
like,
He's not really 28.
I was in high school, and she liked me, I liked her. We're dating. But now, it's not that, like,
Yeah, there's so much more that's.
yeah. And so, I mean, I'm the type of person, don't waste my time.
Damn, he said, don't waste my time.
Yeah. Because if I'm going to take you on a date and we're going to go have fun, whatever.
You better fucking put out.
No. It's not even that.
Joe, come on, man.
No, you animal.
You're cut off.
My thing is, like,
If I'm gonna spend money on a goddamn steak, some spaghetti,
no.
and some
And
salad.
We're trying to have a real moment here.
but that's not the thing. Like,
Okay, fine. Whatever.
that's not what, like, for me, that's not what it is. Like, yeah, it'd be nice to sleep with something. Like, I mean, I'm sure I could do that, but that's not what I'm looking for. Like, I'm looking for someone that I can talk to, I can communicate with, that share the same, but that's not what it is nowadays. Like, I mean,
So you're looking for a man.
maybe, and
We talked about that.
I've shared that. Marry a man.
Yeah.
You don't have to be gay. Just
you don't
marry,
have to be gay. Just be married. Yeah.
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 I mean, hell, you can buy a house, and build on an extra bathroom, master.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, have two masters.
Dude, it would be
like,
great.
Two of
Yeah.
everything.
If you're married, you get the benefits of
Yeah.
everything. But
Yeah.
but I mean, I don't know. There's something about being able to talk to a girl and communicate. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's different than talking to a dude.
There's something about, talking to a woman,
Yeah.
and, she comforts you, and there is something about that.
Mhm.
And at the same time, there's something about the next day where you don't need comforting at all, and you're trying to explain something and she doesn't understand what you're talking about.
But at the same time, you don't want to be chasing somebody that didn't have that same interest.
Yeah, yeah, and that's exactly the point you were getting to. Is like, don't waste my time. It's not about just like, oh, I'm better than you.
It's
No,
not like, oh, you didn't sleep with me.
Yeah,
waste my
yeah,
time.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
it's like,
sex. I've learned. Like, I mean, I've had sex plenty of times. A lot of one night stands.
a lot of dudes.
No, but having sex, it's fun. It feels good. But it's different when you have feelings for the person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can have a one night stand and it's just like, oh, I don't care. Like, oh, I finished fast. Well, I don't fucking care. Whatever. But like when you're with somebody you love, it's a different feeling. Like you have
It's
more
not even love.
sensations.
It's like you have that feeling, like,
It's a connection.
Yeah.
It's a connection. Like
Yeah,
you have
let me-
this
But
this
if that
mental
same-
connection with that person.
if that person didn't have that same,
Yeah, like you
That
can
makes it
feel
hard.
it, like in a weird way. Like, no, I'm not saying you can physically feel it, like, oh,
Yeah,
their
and-
vagina feels different.
no, yeah.
But-
And so what I meant by, like, don't waste my time is, I like you. Do you like me?
yeah, like
Type
you,
of thing.
you can sense like
There's no games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that sense of like, oh, like it's getting back to kind of our previous episodes. It's this consciousness connection. Like there's this vibration that we can all like meet at, where if you're on the same vibration, you're on this same level. That's like that where that saying like get on my level or let's vibe together is like you're getting on the same vibration. Like we as human beings, our bodies vibrate at a certain frequency. The earth vibrates at a certain frequency, and like when you get on that same wavelength, it is like, oh, we're in sync with each other.
Yeah, and what's crazy is it doesn't even have to be sex. It can be
a stimulating conversation.
Yeah, it could literally be like, a few weeks ago, for example, right? I don't know. It's weird. My dad passed. It's been a year, but there's certain moments, there's certain times where like, holy shit, like, have an image. It could be me mowing the grass. It could be me, doing something with the car, whatever. But like, fuck, like I felt something, and like I just felt like a little baby there for a little bit because I was fucking started crying. I was like, why the fuck am I crying? Like, I don't understand why I'm crying. So I just went to Saw and she comforted me, and like that right there is something that no one else can provide.
Yeah.
It has to be your person.
Yeah.
So
Because-
yeah, I get that.
I mean, I'm not going to go to my mom
Yeah, you have
cry.
exactly.
Like,
Yeah,
because I'm feeling a certain way. Like, I had a hard day at work.
Yeah, and you can't go to. I mean, there's certain things you can go to me with,
Yeah.
because I'm I guess I am family, but technically I'm not.
Well, you're a business partner too.
Exactly. Yeah. So
But, I mean, I feel like I'm closer with you than maybe even my brothers. Like,
yeah, I mean, yeah, you're my panda, dude. Like, there's a reason. Just to kind of give you guys some background on me and Panda. Like, we started a business back in, was it 2011? 2011. DJ business, and there was you want to have somebody that's extremely reliable, dependable. I say that's me. And when I asked Josh to do something, or Penn, I'm sorry, he was always there. He was always dependable. He was always on time.
I mean, I think the cat's out of the bag already.
Cat's out of the bag. Anyways,
who's Josh?
Who's Josh? Anyways, but yeah, man. I mean, he's my dude. When it comes to our DJ business, and I this guy, he comes through. He's dependable. He's reliable. He's he's my dude. I would trust him with anything. And when it comes to like just talking dude stuff, yeah, like I'm always there. You're always there. Like we've talked some dude stuff. We've shared some shit. And but yeah, I know there's certain things that there are things that you want to share, like right now, but there's also some things that you can only share with your partner.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get that.
Yep.
I get that, and that's real.
You know, one thing I wanted to go back to is like you were talking,
Yeah.
Panda, you were talking about how music can get you in a certain mood,
Yeah.
and it kind of goes back to what I was just saying, where our bodies function at a certain frequency, and music is a vibration, it's a frequency. So like whenever we're experiencing those things, our bodies are at a frequency, and we're listening to a specific song, there might be a point in time where the frequency of the song mimics what your body is feeling, and that's why you connect with it. Like for me, I'm a very musically inclined person. Like there are times where I will listen to any type of music, and a lot of times it's like opera or like classical or R&B, but like I will be listening to a song and then suddenly I'll tear up or I will get goosebumps and my hairs will stand up on my body, and it's because that frequency of that song is hitting a specific memory frequency in me.
Yeah.
And it's just like it invigorates me, and it's like it brings back, like it floods my mind with this memory of something that happened in my life.
Yeah, there's dude like on that note. I mean, I get that. That is I do really get that. On that note, there are also songs in general that I still can't fucking listen to. I cannot listen to them. If I listen to them, it's gonna be like, oh, like there's some songs like okay, yeah, Dad's Number and this and that. Like I can't listen to them. I don't want to listen to them, and I don't know why. Like I don't want to. It's just like I don't want to feel that at this moment. You know what I mean? It's kind of one of those. Like I don't, and I noticed that. Did you notice that with Leif too? Our Norwegian friend. There was, dude. I noticed that big time.
Yeah.
There was, me and a fellow friend. We lost both our dads, I think in the same year. And there are certain songs that he like skipped through. There were country songs, but I knew the song as soon as it started. I knew the song was about a dad, and I was like, he skipped over it like right away, and I'm like, I get that, I really do, because you don't want to, if it's an upbeat type moment, like you don't want to get in your feelings right at that particular moment. I get that.
And I mean, there's some people that want to.
They want to.
That's completely fine. Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, they can. That's
Yeah.
fine.
There's no like, it's good to do that or it's wrong to do that, but I understand why you do that. I understand why I do that.
Yeah, like I get it. I can remember this moment. When I was graduating high school, I had already had my falling out with my dad, and I was hanging out with this friend, and I had been going over to his house quite a bit, and I got to know his family pretty well, and we had just had graduation, and I went back to his house, and we were hanging out. We were sitting at his kitchen table, and it was me, him, his mom, and his dad, and I was sitting at one of the heads of the table, and his mom came into the kitchen, and she was like, "Oh, was your dad there? I thought I saw him." And she knew kind of everything that had gone on. And in that moment, I was pretty good at like
Did you break down?
myself. I completely broke down, and I just started bawling, like bawling.
And that's
because,
understandable.
like, like I said, my dad was my superhero, and like the falling out with him broke me.
Yeah.
And in that moment, like I had been good, just like, oh no, it doesn't affect me or whatever. But like, in that moment, it just caught me off guard, and I just started bawling my eyes out.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember my friend, he was like, "Oh no, we can share my dad." And it was just like, it was like I appreciate that, but it's not the same.
It's not the same. Yeah, you're right.
No, and
You're right.
so, I mean, when I was going through my separation, divorce, I had a playlist, and I would play that, repeat, same songs. And
Heard that when we were golfing every now and again too.
yeah, and do you notice how when we golf, like, nope, 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 nope.
Yep.
Oh, we got to change this. Like, and I mean, there's times maybe you want to get to that place.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then there's times like, no. For me, if I'm by myself, yeah, maybe I'll get to that place. But if I'm around other people, I'm not gonna feel sorry for excuse me. I'm not gonna feel sorry for myself.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna skip over that song and move on. Like,
Yeah.
and that's what you got to do is you got to move on. Like I know how cliche that it like time heals everything, but
Yeah.
really
It's
does.
true. It's true.
It is true. But at the same time, like with me, I've noticed, I mean, even my daughter, brought this up to me, like, Dad, you hold on, you suppress so much stuff that, like, whenever you do release, it's explosive.
Yeah.
And it's like if you were to accept and if you were to allow, things to just happen, for feelings to just flow, it would be better. But it's so weird because, like, I'm not made like that.
Yeah, and so here's the thing. Like, I'm sure Brandon would agree. You can, like, I would understand. He would understand. Take it out on us. Don't take it on.
It's
Like,
not even that.
No,
It's
I
not even
I
that.
get that. Like,
Yeah.
no, I know what you mean. Like,
You're
there's stuff
saying-
you don't want to like, kind of vomit.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Like, I believe me. I was at your house a few weeks ago, and you had gotten a little tipsy.
Yeah, I remember that night. Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure you remember that.
I remember some of it.
Did you give him a shot?
I mean,
there was no shots. Were there no shots that
you
night?
asked me the same question like 3 separate times
I
within
know.
a 10-span minute.
Hey, that's what I do.
But no, but I having been around you, I can tell you don't express yourself enough.
No, I don't.
From my experience.
Yeah.
From my perspective, and having been that person before, like you know me, I talk my mind now more than I ever have. And I learned to be that way. I learned to let it out because it's a burden. It's such a burden to keep everything in.
Yeah.
And I know how much you feel about your dad. And
Yeah.
I want you to talk because I haven't heard everything. I know I haven't.
Yeah.
And I want you to talk more about it. And that's another big reason I wanted to start this, because I want you to have a platform, not necessarily a platform, but I want you to know that you can talk to me, you can talk to Panda, you have us to talk to. Like, but just talk. Like, even if it's with your wife, my sister, talk to her, talk to somebody,
Dude. And I know, like, that was the whole reason I went to your dad's funeral. Like,
Yeah.
Like, I mean, not because I knew your dad, but like, I cared for you, and like, I wanted you to know.
That was awesome.
I wanted you to know I was there for you.
Yeah, that was fucking awesome. Yeah, that was awesome. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have missed it.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. I appreciate you guys for that. Yeah, that's awesome. Yep.
What else
Anyways.
lead you to cry.
On a different note, let's do something else. On a lighter note, for real.
All right.
No, but to wrap this up, I just want to say, we're 3 men from different backgrounds. Panda and I related. but being able to talk about, feelings as men, it's a very important thing. Like, don't tell anybody, don't let anybody tell you how to feel. I was telling Joe earlier of this relationship that I was in where, I expressed my feelings in a certain way, and my significant other at the time was like, "You shouldn't do that. People don't do that." And it really made me mad because I was like, please don't tell me how to feel my feelings. Like, your feelings are valid. For everybody out there, your feelings are fucking valid. Like, feel however you want to feel and process those feelings however you need to. But I mean, don't cause harm to others in that process, but feel your feelings, process those, and hopefully you can come out a better person. Like, learn from your past, learn from your experiences, fail forward. Like the most successful people in life have failed forward. Michael Jordan talks about this all the time. He's like, I failed forward. It's like, you fail and you learn. You fail and you learn. You fail and you learn. Like, failure is a part of the process.
Yeah.
We're not meant to be perfect. We're human beings. We have imperfections. If we can learn from our experiences, that's what I call the beauty in the unknown. Is like, you're uncomfortable, you adapt, you grow.
Yeah. If there's one thing that I can take away from, just generally speaking, one thing that my dad taught me was, be better than me in every aspect of the way. And, that's what I'm trying to be. That's what I tell my kids, my sons for sure. That's one thing, that's one takeaway. And it's hard, to, wrap your head around being better than the person that you looked up to, but you after a while, like, you understand, yeah, from conversations or from, stories or whatever. uh, I know I'm on that path. I know, like, in my mind, I'm not better, but if I were to ask him right now, he would say, yeah, you're fucking better than me. And I'm hoping that, my sons can answer yes to that too. That's my goal. That's my job.
Yeah, you're changing the
Yeah,
generation. Like,
changing it up. Yeah.
Well, I'll say this: cheers to being better.
Cheers,
Yep.
salute. Yes, sir.
Salute.
Cheers to being better.
Cheers to you all.
Cheers to you all, guys.
Thank you for tuning in.
thank y'all.